Good afternoon. Right, I'm having to build a new chicken coop. The old one, I'm not complaining. For the year that I've had it, has been pretty much okay, but it was second hand when I bought it. The roof was quite badly rotted. I did another video on sort of restoring it, at least the roof to some degree. It was purely, I bought that because it was a case of, do I see whether I want to do this as a long-term hobby, or is it just, yeah, I've kept chickens, but it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of work, no, I'm not going to bother again. And then I haven't wasted a great deal of money, because it didn't cost me much to repair the coop. I'd got most of the stuff I needed, other than a tin of black paint and the pipe for the feeder. Again, see my other video. Everything's been okay. However, this summer I've had to battle a red mite problem, and I put my hands up and I almost lost it. It was a constant battle. I was putting my hand in the coop to collect eggs, and I'd go back inside, and then I'd start itching, and I couldn't see anything, but I was itching on my face, in my head, on my hands, and this went on for about a week until I eventually, I thought something's going on here, and I got my magnifying glass out, and I could see these mites, and there were thousands of them. So, and I do keep the coop clean every week. The bedding gets changed at least every week. If it's bad when I go to collect eggs on a daily basis, I'll clean the nesting box out there. But I was losing this battle, and even with some of the really powerful insecticides that I as a pest controller can get hold of, yes, it stopped the problem, albeit, and this was the problem, temporarily. They were just living in the crevices of the wood. It was a nightmare, and I thought, no, I'm not having this. And I've made the decision. I enjoy keeping chickens. It's a little bit of work, but nothing major. So I thought it's time to invest in a proper coop. Now, this brings me on to this product, which is the Nestera. I'm about to build the Nestera ground coop. I've never done one of these before. This is a real-time video. There's nothing sped up. I'm just here enjoying it. So it's as long as it takes me. There'll be no editing particularly. So I'm just going to build this thing at my own pace. And if I make any mistakes, hopefully you'll see them. And if you decide to build one, you won't make the same mistakes. The first thing I'm going to say is this stuff on the floor. The idea here is twofold. One, it's to hopefully make the coop a little bit easier to move, but secondly, it's to insulate the coop from being directly on the floor, because this is the ground coop. Now, as you can possibly see, my old coop, there is a large ramp for them that they have to climb to get to the nesting area, which is just in there. Now, I don't have a problem with that, and neither do the chickens, but the door is manual, and I really need an automatic door, so that's one thing. There's no vermin or anything around here, as you can imagine, being a pest controller, but this coop is now on its last legs, and it's time for it to go. So this is a ground-based coop, so these sheets are something called Proplex, and I've bought 3 of them, and it's like corrugated plastic, I think is the best way I could describe it. So it's designed for sort of surface protection while you're working, you know, put you on a kitchen top while you're plastering the roof or whatever, but it's ideal for this stuff. It's plastic and it's not going to rot down. It's also UV stable. So we will build the nest on this stuff. I plan just to put the nest here the coop here, and then move the cages. The cages have doors all over, and hopefully the chickens will just be able to come straight out of the coop and into the 2 cages, and then they've got as much of the garden as they can have. So right, look, I'm going to have a slurp of tea, and then I'm going to look at the instructions, see what's what, and crack on with this. So as I say, if you want to watch this, it'll be a long video. Grab yourself a coffee and join me on this journey. As you can see, I have my faithful assistant. Okay, so the first thing is, some of these clips were just loose. These, I think they're called pie clips. I wonder if these are just spares that they've thrown in for me. I wonder if we can 3D print these. Apparently, the plastic, if I read this right, is recycled shampoo bottles. I'm also not sure. Oh, okay. So I think, therefore, that this textured side is the... I think that's the inside and the smooth is the outside. I'm not sure about that just yet. It is nicely, well, I don't know whether it's, I don't think it's 3D printed, that is a certainty. I think it's moulded, injection moulded or something similar. I had read that these were recycled shampoo bottles. Acrobat cat. So that's and this came in 3 boxes, and we have a check sheet here. So okay, so there are 2 pieces of wood. I thought they were packing materials. Hold on. They're not packaging materials, they're the perches. Don't seem to be treated with anything. Okay, so right, I think I understand. So there's 2 layers. So I think we've got all of those, and what we need is the other box opening and the fixing pack. So I'll open the other box back shortly. The reason there were loose pie clips is because there's a big hole in the bag, so they've fallen out of that. So I'm assuming that they've packed at least enough and a couple of spares. I would have thought so. I would have hoped so. I've just had a brief look at the instructions. This is not a 2-minute assembly. So yeah, I might be here sometime. I've got about probably 3.5 hours of daylight left. I'm going to need a few more tools. You're going to need perhaps a socket set, perhaps some pliers, a couple of screwdrivers. There's some nylon locking nuts which can be a real pain in the posterior. So yeah, the instructions, as I say, are quite hefty, reining in at, well, they are in different languages. Okay, so we've got Yeah, so a good sort of 4 pages. Oh, yeah, 1 page. Yeah, one double-sided page. 2. Yeah, so about 4 double-sided pages. Most of it just instructions on what bits you should have for the actual assembly. 1/2. Yeah. So yeah, it's not a 30-second build, this. So I'm going to just prepare myself with the necessary tools, and then I'm just gonna plod on with part 1. Right, folks, so far it's taken me a good 20 minutes to unpack this, just check the bits off and get everything sort of prepped. So there's a load of bits on the middle cage, there's the bits there, there's the bits there. So yeah, as I say, this is not a 5-minute assembly by any means. Now, I believe I need a 10mm. Well, how I'm doing this is I'm using a 10mm socket to put on the back of the nut, because they are nylon locking nuts, and I'm going to hold the screw in place with a big cross-headed or Phillips posi drive, whatever you want to call it, screwdriver, while I tighten them up. So let me just see what the first thing is we're doing. So the first thing is this: fit 2 vent covers to the patterned face of the right side wall. So obviously I need the bit with the 2 cutouts. So that will be this bit, yeah, so that looks good. So we need that, and I need the vent face, which is one of those. Fit the 2 vent covers to the patterned face. Now, the only problem I have here is that the vent is patterned and smooth. So which one do we think it is? And I can't see. Now they're going to be on the outside, aren't they? Because you'll turn those externally. Can we see the... Yes, you can. So you would think that they'll go like that, so you can... But do they go that way or that way? I'm going to do them that way, because then at least everything's the same. So we need a long bolt, a large washer, a small washer, and a nylon locking nut. And to assemble this, so can you, yeah, you can. So then large washer on there, then through the hole, small washer, nylon locking nut. And what we're to tighten them up just yet. Okay, so do the other one as well. Right. So large nut, large washer, small washer, nylon locker, and other side. So large screw, washer, small washer, which I just dropped. Oh, what that's there. And nylon locking nut. Okay. Ah, okay, so right. So that's that part dealt with apparently. So I'll just put that to the finished pile. Now, part 2. Fit the small and large straight door retainers to the smooth, so the smooth inside, so the smooth is on the inside, the texture's actually on the outside. Right, brilliant, that clarifies that for me. Door retainers to the smooth inside of the front wall. So obviously I've got to find the piece that looks just like that using 3 40mm screws, 3 standard washers and 3 nylock nuts. M6, right, okay, now did I just something I've just realised. So it says there, oh, an M6 times 30mm. I may just have used the wrong screw for those. I'll have a look in a moment. So I should have used a 30. Right, bear with me, let me just double check that. I had assumed that all the screws were indeed the same, and yes, I know what everybody's about to say about assuming things. Assumption makes an ass out of you and I. So did I use the same? Yes, I did. And let me just double check this now. So there were 5. So there's 120. Right, okay, yes, for what it's worth, I had, but there are 3 sizes of screw in here, and I had used the correct one. Which I suppose was more by fluke than anything else. So the textured side again, that's the outside. Okay. Do excuse me, I'm just reattaching the vent plate. So, sorry, I was saying earlier on, wooden coupe, right. I paid £100 for that second hand. Brand new, you can get one for sort of 100, perhaps £200. It's great if you want to decide if you're going to carry on doing this, because the Nestera is about, if you go for the large one as I have, because I've got 3 and I'm going to have 5 hens, it's like £500. It's a lot of money. Let's not, let's not pretend anything other than it's a lot of money, £500, It's a lot of money to spend if you don't know whether you're going to enjoy doing this. So my advice to you is, you know, if you can get a cheap wooden coop to try, and then if you decide that you enjoy doing this, then that's great. If, however, you aren't so sure, then my advice to you is buy a cheap coop and then upgrade to the Nestera, because that's what I'm doing. I'm going to keep chickens, I enjoy doing it, so for their benefit and for mine as well, because cleaning a wooden coop is a nightmare. It really is. It's a pain. Jet wash, treat it with creosote or something similar, having to dust the inside. These little mites will get into the smallest of crevices. Also damp, and I don't know whether you can see, I've just got the right part out there, but even with sort of wood preservatives, you get that horrible green mildew everywhere. And this is plastic, and this you can clean with a jet wash. As I understand it, you just simply take the roof off and just clean it with a jet wash. So do excuse me just while I sort of continue doing the door. And as I say, I'm doing this real time, so what we're up to so far, 20 minutes, and that doesn't include the sort of the other 20 minutes, 30 minutes I spent unpacking everything else and checking it. Okay. Fit the small and the large straight door retainer. That's that piece. That is 13, 14. Large straight door retainer, small straight door retainer, 13 and 14. Right, you've got those pieces. Fit the smooth inside wall using 3 40mm, 3 standard washers and 3 nylocks. And that looks like then, so it'll be smooth, 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 and they all appear to go sort of just like that. And then, so it'll go like that. Yeah, there's no cutout in that, is there? No. So the screws go from the far side. So there is only those 3 40mm screws left. So there are no more 40mm screws. And that fits with that catch at the bottom. So if we put one through there, then both of the, oh wow, that's not, I'm not so sure about that. For this, there's barely any thread. I'm not convinced that's right. There are 30s. Let me just double check this. Using 3 by 40mm screws. Right, my fault. Okay. Duh. We need the long ones. check that so the washer and the nut is on the smooth inside side. So again, I'm not going to tighten them for the moment. I've had a very busy weekend. I would just like to point that out. I had the carpet fitters in the other. I had carpet in my new bedroom because I haven't had carpet in my bedroom for 3 years. I've been sort of renovating the house in my spare time. And the carpet fitters came yesterday, and I would have thought that carpet fitters would have tidied up the mess after them. But no, absolutely not. Just left me all the bits of waste carpet and all the fluff all over the place and bag and underlay and okay, fair do. So I've had all that to clean up, as well as strip all the old furniture out of the bedroom, because I'm now putting new furniture in, so I'm having to build that as well. I started a new job last week, which has absolutely knackered me, but hey, I'm enjoying that at least. Right, okay, so I think so. I haven't tightened them, but I think now that that's that bit done. So on to number 3. Fit the small and large curved door retainer. So that's obviously the other bit of that. I've got a horrible feeling about this, about these bolts. We'll see in a minute. Using 3x30. Oh, that were they were actually 3x40 at least. Okay, so 3x30, 3 standard washers and 3. These pieces form a recess into which the door fits when closed. Okay, so we need the small and large curved retainers. Which I would logically assume are these. Okay, so that one's actually half the width, so we may be okay with those other bolts. So let me just have a again, everything to the smooth textured side to the inside, and that doesn't actually have a textured side per se, so it'll only go one way, which is that way, with that on the inside, and that then connects to those 3 holes there, and obviously that's then the area where the door sits. Now I have just noticed that one of my it's okay, nothing. So for this we need 3 bolts, and again from the outside, so I believe there's the first hole. Into there, and then into there. Standard washer. And the nut. Okay. There's the second hole. Okay. So standard washer. And the nut. just want to bring this up here. Be a little bit more comfortable for me. Standard washer. So it's obvious now that the textured side is the outside, and that's that part. I haven't tightened them yet, but that's that part now, hopefully assembled. Right, do excuse me, I'm going to just go and make myself a cup of tea. Cheers. Okay. Next part. Door. Fit the small clevis pin into the hole on the metal door and secure it using a washer and split ring. This can be a little awkward. We find that holding the split ring open, well, that's easy enough. Using a washer. Oh, okay, so I think, so where's the small pin? There. So if I'm understanding this, I'll just put the instructions down. So here's the door. Here's the small clevis pin to which I've attached a washer, which, yeah, so the pin which has a hole in it goes through there, and then this thing, like a typical keyring, you just sort of split it open and push it on. Now it's a bit difficult for me to do this one-handed, so I'm just going to do it now. When they're saying the instructions that this can be a little awkward, they are lying. It's a pain in the arse. I'm struggling to get the metal through the hole, so I'm just trying a pair of needle nose pliers. The problem is the end of the thing is catching there and it won't come out, so just give me a few moments. This is proving to be an absolute nightmare. It's much easier if you can lay this down on something. The problem that you have is that the pin rotates very, very freely. So trying to just and it's a Phillips screwdriver, sorry, a flat bladed screwdriver can be a big help here. Bear with me. Yeah, message to Nestera. This is an unnecessary pain. It's much easier. There are much easier ways of doing this. This is only for attaching a bit of string. guarantee you somebody is screaming at the screen right now saying, don't do it that way, it's easy, do it this way. So what I'm going to try and do is get my pliers in now to separate it up. Make sure I can grab a sizable portion of it. Okay, see if I can get the thing in now. The problem is it's not going through the hole on the other side. I can see the metal poking right up to it, but it absolutely will not go through. I may have to just drill that hole out, which I really don't want to do, but it's absolutely, and I don't want to sort of push it through and stab myself, but that's the issue. Nastira, this is not good. It's just taken me 20 minutes to just ream that hole. Sorry, it's with a 2mm drill bit, because, and that's so you can stick at least another 20 minutes on, assuming that A, you've got a Dremel or a drill small enough, a 2mm drill bit to hand, but that's what's just taken 20 minutes. So hopefully now this should be somewhat easier. And there we go. Okay, so Nastira, if you're watching this video, please at least have the decency to drill that hole to 2 meters. Sorry, 2mm, not 1.9, because that was the problem. There we go. So that is the next bit done. Do excuse me, I'm just going to have a drink of tea. Alright, you can go with the finished pieces. Shouldn't have to mess about like that on a £500 product. Okay, so 5. Place the metal door in position and secure it with a 20mm screw, of which there's only one, 2 standard washers, so there's a washer on the bolt, a large washer, the door, a standard washer and the nut. Okay, so we need let's just go back to 0.5. There we go. Okay, so door obviously goes on the side. Is that correct? Ah, that is. Yeah, okay. I think that's correct. Right, so a 20mm screw, of which there is only one, a standard washer, a large washer, of which now I'm down to my last. So it looks like it's that, then that. Nope, drop that. So just get the door for the large washer, then put the door in its groove, which allows it to fit correctly into place, then a standard washer and a nylon locking bolt. Ah, okay. And now if I just turn that round, you can see that that little recess there and up here are the screws for the chicken guard, which I'm going to be fitting shortly. So I do believe that that piece, other than being tightened, can be put away again. Okay, what's next? So, fit the nest box sidewall to the base brace and base using 4 pie clips. So I'll just arrange the right, so I've got to sort the base out really. So there's just have a look at the parts list. "28 perch, 4, of which there is only 1. Okay, so how does that work then? Oh, it's somewhat perplexing. So what's the base? That's the roof, and therefore assuming then, and again I am assuming that this piece here is the base. So really we need to lay this, we need to put this flat. So if I just move the perches out of the way. So how is this orientated? Ah, okay, so it is actually, alright, so it is different. So the big handles, and we've said that the textured side is the outside. So it's going to be smooth side inwards. So looking at that, it looks like it's oriented like that. So what does that brace do? How does that fit into the equation? Which is just this piece here. Fit the nest box sidewall to the base brace and base. Well, okay, so this is the texture is on the outside. So this sort of just somehow he says. Okay, so right, some of these pie clips. So it looks, it's very difficult to tell, but I think the pie clips go downwards. Oh, Gordon Bennett. Struth. They don't go in easily. Okay. Okay. I think there's a little bit of, yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it seems you almost have to just put the sort of bottom leg in first and then the top leg. Ow, oh, my hands are freezing cold. It's the end of November. It's bloody freezing. Okay, so I hope we've got that right. Now it's this brace which I think is designed to go here, and that would, and then obviously fits in something at the other end. So now it is quite heavy, this thing, so it sort of sits like that, which okay. Fit the side wall with vent covers to the base and side wall, and attach the roof support to the other slot above using 6 pie clips. So I now need, so if I turn this round then, you already know that sort of goes under there. Okay, I'll put that on in a moment. So now I need the part I made earlier with the vent, and I need, now which roof support is it? It's just there are 2 roof supports. There's one with some cutouts and a plain one. So I'm going for plain one which goes in one of the holes, I think. One of those. And I now need this piece and that. Goes in to here. Goes into there, and that into there. I'm not entirely sure to the top centre slot. I'm going to assume that there's a cutout. I don't know whether you can see this, I hope you can. There's a cutout here, so I'm going to assume, yes, it is indeed. Yes, so that fits in the top there. Okay, okay. And that will now just give it a little bit of rigidity, and I'm just going to put in some pie clips. It's a disaster. Tell you what, I'm just going to put a, if I clip that in now, and I'll clip this one in as well. Get this back in here. Don't do this on a windy day. And of course there's no roof yet. Oh my lord. I've got my pliers. Folks, if I may suggest a pair of long nose pliers for the pie clips, it makes the job so much easier. Just nip them at the top, sorry, at the base, and an absolute doddle. Right, okay, now I am beginning to convince myself that this brace is pretty much supposed to go in there. And then again, a couple of pie clips. When I said nip them at the bottom, sorry, what I should say is nip them at the top, and then adjust. Much easier. Much easier. Okay, so tea break. let's right you again. And yes, it's much more sturdy. So, number 8. Fit the front wall pattern faced outermost to the end with the double hole lugs. So orientate this so yes, it's, excuse me, yeah, that's correct. So now we want the door pattern face outermost. And make an attempt to make this line up. I think this may be easier if and the unequivocal answer to that is yes. Okay, pie clips again. Yep, it's pie clips. So again, pliers are our friend. Realised, I'm sorry, I bet you can't see this, can you? My apologies. I wonder if my chickens have any idea that this is all for their benefit. Now of course they don't. Okay, so with the exception of this one, this one here. Okay, so let's put you. So what's the next thing to do? So we've now got this the correct way up. Move you back a bit. Now it's starting to get heavy. Yeah, this thing is not light, and I think now may be a good time to deal with the fixings, because I've got 2 hours of daylight left. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the fixings tightened. So 10mm. Put the torque to minimum. The big question is, see, too tight. Can you see that? Yeah, just about, yeah. So that is too tight. So I suppose, and these are nylon locking nuts, so it shouldn't, they shouldn't ever okay. So these, however, these do want tightening up a bit, but I've put the screwdriver on minimum torque. That should be the door. Opens and closes nice and smooth, which is exactly what we want, and everything is nicely nipped up. So the only one you have to be wary of really is that one. Everything else can be nipped up nice and tight. I'll just do these vents. And again, they're nice and tight but movable. I would have thought they would have had washers on. I'll double check that in a minute. I'll check that now. Did I do that wrong? No. It shows no washer on the outside on there, and I think I'd put one on. I really do. Okay, aftermod. So, okay, I'll just finish. Tighten it up. It would be really nice to get the chickens in here tonight. I'll be honest, but I don't think it'll happen. Okay. Sorry, girls. Right, so now then, fit the upper back wall. Okay, so let's. What's the upper back wall? upper back wall. Okay. So the upper back wall. Bear with me just while I move the myriad of small pieces now from the nesting boxes. So this here is the upper back wall. So again, textured side on the outside. So that, I see, okay. So it goes like so. And then just fit that with two pie clips. That's my pliers. I had asked Nestera, firstly, are there any gaps between the panels? Would I need to put any sort of draft exclusion material? And they assured me that I wouldn't. But it's when the roof's on, I suppose I can just see, and it's only a minor, it's only a tiny gap, I will admit. But I may have considered just putting some 1mm foam barrier, insulative, self-adhesive, one-sided barrier. But I am fitting a small heater. It's in the current coupe at the moment. It's a little 60-watt tubular heater. So I shall put a piece of insulative material on the side and just put that in. So what's next? Fit the back door handles. Okay. Which are these pieces. So where are we looking now? So we need to where do they fit? Ah, okay, so we need the back door piece, which is in actuality this piece here. And we are fitting the back door handles to the textured side of the back door. Hook on top of handle denotes the top. So it's not in the slot. So if that's the outside, so then I've got to assume one underneath and one lower down. So it's not that. Oh, okay. Now, yes. Fit the back door handles to the textured side of the back door. Hook on top of the handle denotes the top. So we have to assume that's on the smooth side then. Okay. Ah, of course. Okay, right. So this bit here, this will hook somewhere, probably in the 2 slots there, of course. Right. Okay. Okay. So pliers, eye clips. Which we need 4. Okay. Okay, so yeah, textured side is on the outside. Cute diddle. Okay. And now, for the first time, we are introduced to these little beauties, linch pins, which are a spring-loaded pin. So we will be using them. So on the other side of the coupe, okay, let's just turn it now. Give me a moment, because this thing gets exponentially heavier every time I pick it up. This, incidentally, is why I've bought 3 pieces of this, so we'll make 3 layers. So okay, so that was relatively straightforward. So they hook nicely into there. That holds it together. So these linch pins, they are sprung loaded. Does it matter which way in or out they go? So it looks like it is, excuse me, with the head, shall you say, pointing, sorry, yeah, pointing to the inner. So can we see this? Yes, we can. So open it up, put it on, and do that, and that is now but easily openable. So I'll do the other side. Do watch your fingers. Okay. Are there any pie clips needed anywhere? Check of the instructions, and the answer is no. Okay, now slide the perches, so okay, through and secure with linch pin. Right, okay, so obviously put the sides with the holes pointing up, he says, as he needles himself to death on his gooseberry bush. I would have preferred either plastic perches or some that had been treated, because I can see, well, one, I can see a place where mites will hide, and chickens are dirty creatures, so they'll just poop and crap and all over it. So I think they'll need, ideally, some sort of box section or somehow protected. I really do. Anyhow, worry about that at a later date. So linchpins again, which I shall need 4. Let's just fasten those. Right, okay. These linchpins seem a bit excessive, because unless I'm being a complete blender, it's a portmanteau of bell and ender. Put the linchpin through there, and yeah, it just seems a bit excessive, a bit of a silly solution to the problem, when just a bit of doweling or something, you know, a bolt, even a plastic bolt, with a plastic head made from offcuts of your things, could just go in there and save you using these. Hey-oh. But, okay, so there we go, that's the purchase done. Fit the, okay, so now we are on to the nest box. So we firstly need to orient this the correct way for my ease of use, at least for the moment. They do a wheel kit. Doesn't fit this coop. Oops. Oh, you are disgusting creatures. So what do we need here? So there are 3 rather strange looking pieces. Which are these? And then we need I believe, fairly sure, it's that piece. And there. So, for the nest boxes, there are the pieces we need. Let's have a look then. So, starting with what I believe is the floor. I suppose it's also occurred to me that using the smooth on the inside makes it much easier to clean. Less harbourage. So, now, are these the same? No, they aren't, because 2 of them have chamfered edges. And I don't know, so I think they're the outer ones. Just bear with me. Fit the nest box end and walls divided to the nest box, so we're going to have the nest box front wall, all using 12 pie clips. Ah, okay, they are slightly different. Yeah, okay. So it's these with the recess here. So if this is the floor, so they go. Okay, so that's the floor. So the first one goes in there. Then the other one with the recess, that goes in there. So I'll just get the pie clips on those now. 4, 3, 4. 2 o'clock. I've got at least another couple of hours of daylight. Oops. One. Two. You find the clip won't go in it, maybe you've not got the plastic straight, as I've discovered, otherwise they're actually quite simple. Okay, so what's the... Okay, so there's the bit here, goes like that. Okay, that's the divider. So we'll just have to pie clip this chap in. He doesn't want to go. Ah, that's why. There we go. Another one. Okay. That's the divider. Front wall with those the slopes down, yeah, so with the notches like that, like that. Okay, let me see that. Sorry, should have moved that for you. Right, so that's the front box assembled, nest box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Ah, okay. Dropped a bit of a clanger there. I've put that clip in back to front, so just squeeze the, come straight back out. No biggie. It went in quite easily. That one not so much. Okay. Clipped. And again, if we're going to be anal about this, and unfortunately that's me all over. Okay. Right, so that now I believe sort of somehow, not sure. So what? Okay. Well, that's the first reason you've covered. Okay, so it hooks in the bottom like so, and then everything goes in there. Okay, and I'm going to assume push the three upper lugs through their holes, another linch pin, so I'll just get the middle one on just to hold everything in place. Okay, so that holds that. Right, so yeah. Okay, so 3 linch pins. So on the inside there are holes, linch pin, linch pin, linch pin. Linch pin. Linch pin. Secured. Actually quite spacious. Okay, now, so that now leaves I still don't know what that piece is though. Oh, now I do. Okay, that's the ramp. Oh, all right. So now we need this piece, and we also need these pieces. So, fit the next box first. The lid should have its pattern side upwards. So in a nutshell, it looks very much like that goes in there. And that these then go. Now, this is a little bit tricky because these have a little, they're different on the ends. Right, okay. I've got it. So, just grab one pie clip. So, this is the, yeah, so this is the left hand side from my perspective with the 3 pie clip thing. And I'm just going to put a pie clip just to hold that in place for a moment. again, I've put it the wrong bloody way around, but and this left piece here, a little bit with the hole, goes at the front. So in other words, the textured side is facing outwards, and that goes there. So I'll just put a pie clip in this. I haven't bought a recyclable 100% eco green friendly coupe because I'm some sort of eco green nutter, which anybody who knows me will tell you I ain't. I've bought it because it's easier to maintain. Okay. I'm just going to finish putting in the rest of the pie clips and the other part. So again, on this side, the textured side is facing outwards and the bit with the hole is here. As it's come together, I must admit, it's quite a reasonably, I can just see that the drain holes at the bottom are a bit blocked with, yeah, just where the machine hasn't sort of cut them out. That's no big deal. I am quite impressed with its construction and design, because it's going to be very easy to sort of maintain, which is, trust me, that's the great thing. There are also trays that fit in the thing, so you can just, it becomes much easier to clean. You can take those out to easily change the bedding material. Okay, so that now fits, if I understand this correctly, and in the words of Tommy Cooper, just like that. And somehow, so it is secured with 2 linch pins. Yes, that says maybe. Oh, of course. That can't be right, surely you would expect that to go. Ah, okay, I think I get this. So the linch pins go here. So you take them out and you can lift the nest box up, if I'm believing that to be correct. It is. So what are those? Surely it doesn't sort of come forward and out, because they're not lining up. So I don't understand what the holes were, not these, but the ones in those side pieces there. I don't get what they do, because if you line those up, unless, no, because that's in the way there, so that can't be right. So it's these. What do these do, these holes? This is what I'm struggling with. So yeah, I can understand that there you would secure that whichever way you want to do it, I suppose, like that. I get that, but that still hasn't answered what that is for. Puzzlement notwithstanding, fit the two side roof retainers. Ah, okay. So they are this one, this piece here, is that the arched? Yeah, they're the nesting boxes. So that then goes, looking at this, so the nesting boxes here, it goes into there. Fit the end roof retainers. Okay, so I'll just put a pie clip in there, and I'm just going to grab another one for this side. That's a Jess. Ooh, now then. Okay, you can only put the pie clip in this in one way, because this is stopping you from putting it the other way. So I'm putting the teeth, if you will, these, I'm fitting it that way, because I can't get the clip in because of this. So it's a bit of a moot point anyway. If you haven't figured that out, you really shouldn't be building this. And then for the other side, okay, same again. My clip. Okay, now the roof. Apparently this has been designed to be flexible. Ah, I'm missing two pieces. So I've got three pieces remaining. And okay, so that one, this is the handle for pulling the cord. Not a problem for me. I've got the chicken guard, the automated door opener. It's these two pieces which go. Now let's just excuse me. So on the door side, we want, yep, so grab the pie clip. Okay, so like that. Other side. So, clips, yeah, 4 clips, clips, so no clips, clips, clipped, 3 retainer rings, tightened, adjusted, Okay. Have I missed any clips out there? No. So the roof, which goes, the handles go towards the door, so it goes on that way. Like so. Okay. Okay. And with that, and it is attached with lots of these rings. So I shall simply start, as I mean, to go on. Do the closing coins first. Diddle. I still haven't. I have just realised something, is that I haven't put the trays in. So I'm just, well, how easy is it to take the roof off? Well, it's that easy. That's how easy it is to take the roof off. And these, do just excuse me a moment, because I've been using one of them for a tool storage area. These are what I've bought. Okay, right, so question. How do I can I get them in and out through the door? And as you can see, the answer is yes. So that solves that problem. That's how to get to them to clean them through the door. Okay, so no biggie there. So I'll just get the rest of the eye clips and some. Still got a few bits remaining. Okay, so I've still got some washers, some I don't know how to describe them. Oh, I see, so they're for the ramp. Okay, brilliant. Right. So, let's put this last tray in. Now we can put the roof back on. So the roof goes, the handle towards the door, I think I said. One, 2, 3, yeah. Okay. Come on, all the split things. I think what I'm going to do this now. I'm going to get the chicken guard, because if I just turn this round, there is a gate here, and I'm hoping that I can just get the ramp on the inside of that gate, and then the chickens can just go straight in, and we've got access to there. I can put some bedding in, and I possibly may be able to do this in half an hour. So look, do excuse me, I'm just going to do myself another quick cup of hot tea, because it is quite cold today, and I'm going to put the other Proplex down, and I'm going to turn the coop around, and I'm going to see if I can get that to sit there, because that will be brilliant. It will save me a lot of work and a lot of effort. So yeah, please excuse me, I shall be back shortly. Right, chicken guard. I've been sort of just having a bit of a think about this, because my chickens are going to come out and they're going to be straight into this cage, at least for the moment. However, the entrance to the cage, whichever entrance I use, is always going to be the main door, and I suspect, and I'm just going to turn the right. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with this, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the coop round, possibly try and move my old one, which will not be an easy job, and just get it to where I've got the firewood ready, so I can basically just chop it up, and if the lot's going up in flames. Now I've built this, get rid of that red mite once and for all. So look, it's all but built. Chicken guard, pre-drilled holes are here, but it means that the string is doing this. So I was thinking about somehow putting it up here with a, making sense, with a guide almost, because ideally the string wants to be straight, but I'm just not sure as to what the easiest way is going to be. But look, that's it, that's the Nesta built. I'm not gonna, once I've got rid of that rubbish, we'll do a little bit more, but while the chickens are there, maybe there, that's what the chickens in the cages. So now I can put some bedding material in there, turn it round. Anyhow, look, that's the Nesta built. I will just double check. Oh, there's the ramp. I'm sorry, I've completely forgotten about the ramp. Well, take the roof off. Yeah, that is nice and flexible, at least. Let's do the ramp. There is weight in that, it must be said. Okay, so pretty straightforward, like very straightforward. And this is what the two other clips are for. Fit them out using clothespins and 2 clips. Yeah, okay. So this is ludicrously simple. He says, remembering the trouble he had with that. So you've got these 2 clips here, and all they do, he says, yeah. So they're, yeah, we're okay, they fit. So, put, does it say a washer? Now, I've got 2 washers left. I'm just going to put a washer on the top of these clevis pins, just to hopefully prevent a little bit of wear and tear. I don't know whether the Nesta sell spares. I can only assume that they do. And then I've just got to fit those, but as you can see, it just bends to its own. I may actually, because the chickens are never going to get that off, I may just keep it like this without these clips holding it in place. It may make it easier. I don't know, but there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's taken me probably about 2.5 hours, because there are certain times when I move things around. But yeah, 1 hour and 51 minutes. So as I say, not a 5-minute project by any standards, but nevertheless done. I hope the chickens like it. Thanks for watching. It's been great. I'll upload another video when I've got the chicken guard on, and possibly even when the chickens come to try it for the first time. This will be interesting. I've also got to do something about the feeder, so I'm going to have to fit the feeder into one of those cages somehow. This will all be a bit of a shock for them, this. I'll see if in fact, do you know what? I wonder if I can get them to. Okay, look, I'm thinking out aloud. Bear with me. Right, it's quite a bit after. I've opened the hatch for the chickens, so I just want to see whether, and I'm burning the old coop finally, so I just want to see if the chickens want to venture into their new home. I am going to fit a camera in here as well. Oops. It must be odd for them. Got to just work out how to get the food to them, so I'll probably just use the angle grinder or the snips and just cut something out here. I'm then going to put a piece of plastic over here to give them a sheltered area, because they don't seem to go in the coop when the weather's bad, but I just thought it may save them getting wet. Right, there we go. Do excuse me, I'm just going to crack on now, getting rid of the rest of this old coop. So thanks very much for watching. It's been 2 hours, so yeah, It's been a blast.